because I am in my reinventing phase right now. मैं जब भी बोलते हैं तो market में कर रहा है आजकल क्या हो गया चुपचाप बैठा हुआ है. Because you know what is happening is that I have to now take a pause and think.
आपको उसी लैंग्वेज में लोगों को लिखना है जिससे वो एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट कर सके, अपने आप को उससे बुक के साथ भी कनेक्ट कर सके.
So after 8 years working into the industry, I introduced this app called TopMate, a website. So a person needs to pay a little amount, to talk to me, discuss the strategy. As of now, that is just $500.
Most authors that I have worked with, they are not marketers, so they don't know how to put themselves out there.
इंडिया का प्रमोट कर रहा है ऑल इंडियन ऑथर्स आर माय फेवरेट ऑथर.
Atmanirbhar, everybody is good. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Booknerds Podcast, and we are so glad that we are doing this at the amazing Om Bookshop here in Noida. And it's going to be really interesting, this conversation. It's going to be chill, it's going to be very impromptu, so I hope you guys enjoy and learn about the tricks and of book marketing and author branding. So the panel on display here is quite something. So first we have, of course, the best-selling Kevin Missal with us. Welcome, Kevin. Thank you for doing this. And of course, he's the founder at Hubhawks, which is a cool new age book marketing agency / does multiple things. Of course, we'll be discussing about that in detail. Of course, we have with us Mr. Sanjay Mago, and who is a veteran in the field. Of course, he is at Om Bookshop. He takes care of sales. And we are going to get his opinion about, of course, the offline trade, what's happening, about author branding, and much more. Thank you, sir, for doing this and letting us do this here. Thank you so much. And on my right, Ayush Pant, who I found on LinkedIn, and serendipity it was, because, he has been doing a lot of good work with Aurelius Media and, in terms of book marketing for some good and great authors. So thank you so much for being here. I feel that it's beyond your comfort zone, but chill, nothing is going to happen. We are just going to talk, okay? Of course, Neha is with us. Neha Raj from Booknerds Author Agency and also co-founder Booknerds. She is my wife as well. So that is, disclaimer. If something wrong happens in this podcast, don't blame me. It is all Neha. Anyways, so it's going to be a very candid conversation, but I would love to start with Kevin.
Yeah.
Because Kevin, of course, you are a best-selling author now. You have hustled through, like I say, and I really appreciate the grind that you have gone through. Oh. And I won't call it struggle, because I don't think so you also would term it that. It's always fun to do that, everything. But when you got to founding, sort of getting into entrepreneurship, so as to say it.
Yeah.
Take us through that a bit. And of course, what were the learnings from your experiences, kind of going through, kind of, putting your book on shelves, all of that. But now with Hubhawks, what are you doing exactly for new age authors? And shed some light on that, and then we'll take it from there.
I mean, my journey with Hubhawks started very weirdly, to be honest. It started because, not because I wanted to start something new or anything. I used to always consult authors because वो आते रहते थे, कोई ना कोई आ रहा है, please बता दो क्या, because I was very approachable. I would be like, free की knowledge दे रहे हो, चलो ठीक है.
Yep.
But what happened was कि around the moment I finished my books and everything, I used to have like 2 months of writing. I tell them something nothing. तो कितनी पार्टी कर लो?
Oh yes.
I know.
So marketing में कितना ही मतलब
हाँ,
right. So like two because मुश्किल से 2 किताबें निकलती है एक साल में, उससे ज़्यादा करोगे तो ये cluttering the on your own brand also.
Yeah.
So then I was getting really frustrated and I started having anxiety. So I was diagnosed with panic disorder. And I was like, यार ये तो मेरे को पहले समझ नहीं आता था anxiety क्या होती है और मेरे को हुई. And I still remember I was like, what, I have to do something constructive.
Okay.
So let's start something which I'm good at, I knew how to sell books.
Right.
And I also obviously consulted, like for instance, Tuti channel I consulted. I consulted Saksham also, even now I help him, as a friend. So इतना कंसल्टेशन इतना कर लिया, मैं समझ गया कुछ तो काम कर रहा है, something is working, so I might as well just start it. So that is how Hubhawks started. It started out just as a digital marketing company, but then we kind of realized over a period of time कि just marketing is not something that authors require.
Okay.
It requires everything.
Okay.
From editing, you know, they are not getting good because what used to happen was I used to get a lot of leads जो editing के लिए आते थे, and I used to give it to third party and अच्छा काम नहीं करते थे तो हमें आने पड़ती थी.
Okay.
So we realized कि might as well that keep in-house.
Right.
So eventually what happened now at today's stage after 2 years, we just celebrated yesterday 2 years of Hubhawks.
Wow, congrats.
Yeah. So basically now we are a one-stop literary marketplace.
Okay.
A to Z.
Okay.
Even for distribution we help, even for you know, online we help, everything. So that's what Hubhawks has become.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Who was your first client, just randomly?
First client. Have you heard of this author, Rosemary author called Sabah Karim?
I have.
Skyfall एक book आई थी.
He's not the Sabah Karim, the cricketer, right?
She. So Sabah Karim has been my client for the last 2 years.
Achha.
Yeah. So she came in. She was a Pakistani client from United. She was a NYU professor in Dubai.
Okay.
And wonderful. I mean, अभी 2 साल हो गए. Amazing.
Yeah.
That's good.
We'll get into that because, you know, the nitty-gritties of kind of how to work with, of course, clients from outside India as well. How is it different? We'll get into that. But moving on to Sanjay ji. Sanjay, how does kind of, you know, Om Bookshop and Om Books in general, you know, you guys have been in the business for a while now, and things are changing so much because of social media, the way people are thinking right now, and Gen Z also is kind of evolving at a very high rate. I mean, one day they are doing something else, and the other day I noticed that nowadays everybody is wearing those oversized t-shirts with manga everywhere, and they are changing so quickly. How does a publishing house keep evolving quickly? Does it changes in the team, or how does it work?
See, like we are a publisher and we are a retailer also.
Yeah.
And for that, since we know the market pulse from our bookshop, like every time when the things are changing, we know much before than any other publishers.
Okay.
Okay, because we get every day, we get a feedback from our shops. The people comes, they give us a new feedback, they give us a new ideas, they give us a new topics like this kind of books you have it or not. And for that we implement into our publishing house.
Okay.
We try to implement their queries, we try to implement their subjects, we try to implement their thought process, कि उनको क्या नया क्या चाहिए, कैसे नया बनाना है, तो उसको फिर हम अपने पब्लिशिंग हाउस के अंदर इम्प्लीमेंट करते हैं थ्रू देयर इनपुट्स. तो वो चेंजेस ऑटोमेटिकली टाइम टू टाइम आती रहती हैं. जैसे पहले एक सब्जेक्ट बहुत अच्छा बिक रहा है, सपोज मैथोलॉजी अगर अभी अच्छा बिक रहा है, तो मे बी आफ्टर सम टाइम मैथोलॉजी इज नॉट सेल वेरी वेल, आई नो, आफ्टर सम टाइम.
So
उससे पहले बिक रहा था.
Can you give us a specific example? जैसे mythology में भी थोड़ा सा change देखा है हमने. And Kevin, this is for you as well. Because you know, purest form of like mythology was working when you got in, you know, and you did well in that. And of course, so what is the change now? How does say this genre change?
पहले क्या हो रहा था कि पहले कुछ भी मैथोलॉजी के ऊपर आ रहा था ना तो बिक रहा था. अभी रिसर्च मटेरियल जो है अब वो ज़्यादा अच्छा लोग ले रहे हैं, जिसके अंदर ऑथेंटिसिटी ज़्यादा अच्छे से हो, लोगों को इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड हो, जो लोग एक से एक उससे कनेक्ट कर सकें. बेसिकली इट्स नॉट लाइक आप बहुत ज़्यादा हैवी भी लिख देंगे तो लोग कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाएंगे. आपको उसी लैंग्वेज में लोगों को लिखना है जिससे वो एक दूसरे के साथ कनेक्ट कर सके, अपने आप को उससे बुक के साथ भी कनेक्ट कर सकें और उसको अंडरस्टैंड कर सकें. अगर आप एकदम मैथोलॉजी काइंड ऑफ लैंग्वेज के अंदर अगर उसको आप लिखेंगे तो वो इतनी जल्दी आम लोग नहीं उसको समझ पाएंगे. तो ऐसे ही कोई भी सब्जेक्ट होता है तो उसका एक टाइम होता है, एक टाइम फ्रेम होता है कि हाँ भाई अभी बिक रहा है तो ऐसा नहीं कि 10 साल वो बिकता ही रहेगा. वो चेंज धीरे धीरे चेंज आता रहता है, क्योंकि हर जो जितने भी रीडर्स हैं दे वांट समथिंग न्यू, उनको कुछ नया चाहिए, एक के बाद एक को नया चाहिए. तो एक जर्नी है जो सब सब्जेक्ट्स को लेके कभी प्लस कभी माइनस कभी ऊपर कभी नीचे चलता रहता है. तो ये
with the new age authors I'm talking about, and I'll come back to you with the new age authors, especially in this genre because that concerns you as well. What is your branding take now? मतलब कि पहले जो तुमने करा था इनिशियली उसमें कुछ चेंज है या फिर you are going with the same strategy or you have changed it around a bit?
So now I have to stop marketing only.
अच्छा
because I am in my reinventing phase right now. मैं जब भी बोलते हैं तो मार्केट में कर रहा है आजकल क्या हो गया चुपचाप बैठा हुआ है because you know what is happening is that I have to now take a pause and think
Okay.
कि where because now what is working what is not working because now it's very dynamic. पहले क्या था कि आपने किताबों में स्टोर में डाल दी किताबें अपना ऑनलाइन थोड़ा सा प्रमोशन कर दिया तो you know immediately if you have a good cover if you have good packaging done good price point it works and good subject obviously. If subject people have not read about now it's very tricky because now like कि कुछ भी subject चल सकता है but has to be right positioning तो बस वही it's quite real.
In terms of other authors also
Platforms like social media, they also keep changing their trends.
Why?
Example, reels.
Change it.
No, right? If you look at past 3 years,
Yes.
there was no concept of reels. We were all
Tell us about the new author, no? Tell us about the new author you were talking about.
Yeah. So I mean the
Weinberg Allen.
Yeah. So Harshit, he's one of our authors of our publishing of New Voice, and that guy is crazy on social media. बहुत full promotion डाल रहा है, करता जा रहा है, and obviously he has support of his parents, his support of the publisher. You know, he got one or two offers from big publisher also, but he went with me.
Okay.
Primarily because he wanted to just be kind of groomed and helped by a author who's already gone through that.
Right.
You know that journey.
I know.
So वो एक था.
It's a mentor thing
Yeah,
also.
he's now out of stock to be honest. I mean in terms of like हमने कितनी because obviously he was a young debut writer तो हमने 3000 कॉपी प्रिंट कराई थी 3000 खत्म हो गई अभी रीप्रिंट डालना पड़ रहा है so that's how it is you know and अभी तो नॉर्थ एंड साउथ में गई है ईस्ट वेस्ट बचा है अभी
Wow.
so सोचो and then it's crazy.
Great. And he's just 19, 20 or what?
Yeah, he was 21 I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he's also taking the initiative, right? He is himself he's out everywhere.
So
right?
I told you, whenever whichever author comes, sir, I mean, anyone who comes to the publishing of ours, we say that if you say no to anything that we tell you,
Yeah.
that means you're going somewhere wrong. So you have to say yes.
Goodness.
And if I tell you to go to Chennai tomorrow, you have to say yes to do signing or to do anything.
No, that's a huge issue.
But it command the author.
Remember, it is tough.
It is, right?
Being a writer is tough. Being a writer is not just writing a book. At the end of the day, you have to.
No, but most people are not open to any sort of feedback, right?
So, any sort of suggestions also sometimes.
अभी मैं बिना नाम के पूछूंगा actually. You know?
experience
So you know, great start. Thank you so much for mentioning that because that was not even on the flow of this podcast.
Yeah.
Because that is so important. Being open to change. If the author is not open to change, what will happen? So I would like to bring in Ayush now because he is someone who is coming from the advertising space. और authors को ना समझाना and tell them that कि personal branding is really important for you. It's important for everyone.
Right.
But right now in 2023, how tell us with a specific example. Don't take names if you don't want to. और नाम लोगे तो बहुत ही बढ़िया मतलब हमारे लिए बहुत बढ़िया. But we'll get confused. But you know, tell us with a specific example कि क्या दिक्कत आ रही? What is the problem with that?
So, I mean, like most authors that I have worked with, so unka matlab the common challenge that they face is that they are not marketers, you know, so they don't know how to put themselves out there. Like they know nothing about personal branding. They might not even have like a basic website.
Okay.
And you know they might not have mailing list to bhul jao, you know, so often at times like they have to start from scratch, you know. So now again, like I wrote an article like a few weeks ago about the ultimate guide to book marketing.
Yeah.
In that also I wrote ki dekhiye like an author who has 350,000 followers, you know, or an author who is or an individual who is already a well-established name. He's going to far outsell any author, you know, which is coming out with a debut novel, you know. So the statistics point out that like, you know, a debut novel sells at most like, you know, 3,000 copies if it's by a publishing house.
Right.
And, you know, otherwise if it's self-published, then it might sell even less.
Yeah.
You know, so the odds are always stacked up against like, you know, debut authors, especially the first time authors. So what I advise to them is like, you know, that start developing a strong personal brand and, you know, start a few months before, because most authors like have this conception ki I'll release the book, marketing ho jayegi. You know, so that conception is quite wrong in my opinion. I think you need to develop like a fair amount of like readers' interest, where like, you know, where readers are aware about who you are and they like you to a certain extent, because if they know who you are and if you have some sort of likability, then like the chances of your book selling are high.
Yeah.
So like that is like, you know, what we do, like, you know, so like with debut authors, like, you know, our marketing strategy is different. With like established names, like, you know, our marketing strategy is different. And like, of course, like there are various technicalities also that we get into. For example,
लेकिन author को technical मतलब it is very hard ना. हाँ, take us through a Zoom call, right? You know, where you kind of struggled.
right,
Because this is about inside things. So
right.
tell us where you struggle to kind of convince the person, because I have done that and Neha does that like frequently. Everybody on this table must have struggled with that.
Right.
They will understand to sell this, you know. For example, newsletters, right?
Right.
I'm going to talk about it later perhaps. So, मतलब कैसे convince करो? क्योंकि standard, if they're not open, then our marketing skills come to the fore, right? Like we have to convince them, or an agency owner has to convince them.
Convinced.
How does that go through? एक तो example दे दो.
So again, like as Kevin said, he like, you know, he says to the authors, ki, like, if I tell you something, you have to do it.
हाँ.
So like, you know, a relationship between a marketing agency and author is also like a, you know, a therapist and a patient relationship. or a doctor.
Exactly. Lot of authors say
Like,
Dr. Kevin.
Yeah.
They never say Dr. Kevin.
Very on point.
Actually, Dr. Kevin, because very apt point. Yeah.
Yes. So, matlab, you have to, like, you know, let them know, okay, listen, like, I have worked in this domain and I know that there are certain things that work. For example, it's 2023, as we are discussing that there are various trends like reels, like, you know, which were going on, or sometimes carousels are getting boost, or sometimes regular posting is getting boost. So, like, you know, we have to make people aware of these trends. Ki, okay, listen, okay, like, you know, you have to develop your social profile, and then you have to post like X times a week, and then we are going to develop this strategy for you, and things like that. So, matlab, usme, in terms of the convincing the part, like, you have to sort of like show them other examples of people who have done the same, who have walked the same path and have achieved success.
वही एक तरीका
So if they can see कि अच्छा ठीक है, others have done this, like others have successfully leveraged their mailing list, or others have successfully leveraged, like, you know, Amazon book marketing, or like Instagram ads or Facebook ads. So maybe this can work for me as well.
Yeah.
So you have to give them like a logical plan, you know, which aligns with who they are. And this is again some of the times when like agencies like mine, like sometimes we tell the clients ourselves ki, nahi, I don't think this can work out between you and us, because if I see ki it's not a right fit, because again it's not like a one-way relationship. You know,
Or to say no.
So
Okay.
So yeah, so sometimes, like, you know, even sometimes when the priorities don't align, like even we end up saying ki, okay, that this might not work out.
Wow.
Sometimes they could say ki, acha, mera budget nahi hai, you know, my budget is not there, or I'm not comfortable doing this and this. And when you know ki, okay, things are not going to work out, so it's okay. You know, so because at the end of the day, like, you should also, you know, you have deliverables to deliver.
Yeah.
You have like a, you know, so you should always keep this in mind ki whether if the client is perceptive to your ideas, then it's good. If sometimes, you know, the ideologies don't align, then it's better to, like, you know, to look further and you know, and give the client general guidance about what they can do and how they can achieve success with their marketing.
Brilliant.
Because brainstorming with the author is something different. But you know, if the author is not ready to sometimes apply the things which we are saying, like personally, like if I do, and sometimes they say, no, this is not going to work. So we have to sometimes, you know, make them understand without giving the examples, because, you know, sometimes we are asked not to reveal the author's names whom we are working. So in that scenario, how should we convince the, you know, author that this strategy is going to work?
So authors are the experts. Like a lot of authors, they work when they don't want to reveal that they're being marketed by Booknerds.
Oh yes, that happens because it's
When it's kind of a contract, so we have to mention that we are not going to mention it anywhere, that book.
Our authors are pretty chill about it.
no, it happens because
Probably we also don't ask them also.
yeah.
We just had to post it and they're like, yeah, fine, you know what?
No, I think so. It happened with a client. I suppose Neha can tell you more about that. You know, so that client is not from India.
Not from India. That happens, you know, majorly with when the client is not from India and they have a very good exposure from the US and from very good, you know, big market. because India has a big market, no doubt, but the book club culture and the book selling, book reading culture, that is all a Western thing. If right, so if people travel there, stay there, their kids are there, so they know everything, right? Yeah, how the books are trending, how the books are going, but again, when they come back here and they want to apply those things,
Same thing.
नहीं ये वर्क कर सकते हैं ना, उतनी अमाउंट ऑफ एक्सपेंडिचर भी यहाँ पे होना चाहिए, ठीक है। अगर आप सोचो कि वेस्टर्न में इतना हम कर रहे हैं तो उतना पैसा भी हम खर्च कर रहे हैं,
marketing,
तो लेकिन जब वो इंडिया में आते हैं सोचते हैं ऐसे फ्री में ही सब कुछ हो जाएगा, तो ऐसा नहीं हो पाता।
They have got a big deal outside, I suppose. They don't want to reveal that they need marketing at all. Sometimes it is that, so
Or sometimes it happens.
it happens, but great.
To a lot of international authors as well, right? And they are mostly self-published because we want to. But there are a lot of good books out there if you want to publish here in India as well.
Yeah.
So, और उनका भी यही होता है कि यार बट हम मार्केटिंग में तो डाल देंगे पैसा, बट फिर वो ये है कि रिटर्न क्या है।
Yes.
but everything is not about the selling. I mean, it is a kind of a stairs. You have to keep climbing it continuously.
पहले तो आपको अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करनी है ना, engagement create
Exactly. So there is a strategy.
ऑथर्स का सबसे पहले एंगेजमेंट होना चाहिए अपने रीडर्स के साथ, ठीक है। अगर आप अपना एंगेजमेंट ही नहीं करेंगे उनके साथ तो आपकी बुक को कैसे पता चलेगा। जैसे कि आपने बताया कि हाँ भाई ऑथर्स को पहले से ही शुरू कर देना चाहिए कि हाँ भाई अब बुक आने से पहले अगर वो उसकी मार्केट क्रिएट करेगा, उसकी जैसे लोग आके पूछना शुरू करेंगे बुक स्टोर के ऊपर, अब क्या भाई ये बुक रिलीज हो रही है, आपके पास कब आ रही है, तो क्या है कि बुक स्टोर भी उसको ज़्यादा से हैंडल करेगा, तो ज़्यादा कॉपीज ऑर्डर करने की कोशिश करेगा। हाँ भाई ये लोग ऑलरेडी पहले से मांग रहे हैं, तो डेफिनेटली इफ आई वांट टू 2 कॉपीज, आई वांट टू कीप 5 कॉपीज, आई वांट टू कीप अ फ्रंट डिस्प्ले इन माय शॉप्स, कि हाँ भाई लोग उसको पहले से जानते हैं। तो ये बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हाँ भाई बुक आने से पहले उसकी अवेयरनेस क्रिएट करना, ताकि जितने भी स्टोर्स हैं या जितने भी स्टोर्स के ऊपर लोग काम कर रहे हैं उनको उस बारे में ऑलरेडी थ्रू देयर कस्टमर नॉलेज हो, या थ्रू देयर एनी अदर मीडिया लाइक सोशल मीडिया या जो भी मीडियाज यूज कर सकते हैं। ओ यस आई नो, अवेयरनेस इज अ की पॉइंट टू engage the customers.
Correct.
Then your books can automatically start selling.
Right.
If your book is good and your readers like your writing, then definitely your books sell numbers. And बुक स्टोर का सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज क्या होता है, अगर जो बुक ऑलरेडी बिक रही होती है ना उसको ऑटोमेटिकली फ्रंट के ऊपर लगाना शुरू कर देता है, ठीक है, विदाउट एनी चार्जेस, विदाउट एनी कमांड।
That is a fair choice also, ना?
द बुक्स ऑटोमेटिकली अपनी जो है स्पेस बनाती है बुक स्टोर्स की। ऑलरेडी अर्नड इट। आप उसको देखो कमर्शलाइज करेंगे तो आप 1 महीने के लिए कर सकते हो या 10 दिन के लिए कर सकते हो, लेकिन आपको अर्न करना पड़ता है सभी चीज़ के लिए। तो बुक भी अपना जो है स्पेस अर्न करता है, तो जब वो अर्न कर लेता है तो ऑटोमेटिकली फिर वो बेस्ट सेलर लिस्ट में चली जाती है, फिर वो आगे उससे नंबर ऑफ क्वांटिटीज बिकनी शुरू हो जाती है।
Right.
तो इस मेन कंसर्न इज टू एंगेज द राइट ट्रूली कस्टमर्स, राइट ऑडियंस, तो वो एंगेज करना बहुत ज़रूरी है।
Let's talk about onboarding because it's very important. Half the people are not aware about this process of hiring an agency or पता ही नहीं होता लोगों को। Even with Google searches, sometimes people are not able to find, right? Like perhaps Aurelius and Hubhawks. So what is your onboarding process? Are you looking out for talent as well? Are you scouting also? Or it's the other way around, people are coming to you? How does that work?
Then Hubhawks, it's a mixed bag.
Okay.
Like, sometimes they come through referrals, sometimes they come through social media. किसी ने बोल दिया यार कोई अच्छा सुनो उसको पकड़ लो,
Okay.
type kind of a thing. Sometimes obviously we reach out.
Have you gone after someone like, nahin, we want this guy yet, or it doesn't matter?
I see if you're looking out for and trying to get that person, the problem that person doesn't need it.
Okay.
So that's why idea is like there will be a famous thing, na, Wolf of Wall Street wala sell me this pen.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
The thing is, but the actual Wolf of Wall Street wala, if you see his video also, he was saying that वो sell me this pen तभी करोगे ना जब वो पेन खरीदना चाहता है दूसरा बंदा, वो खरीदना ही नहीं चाह रहा, तुम जैसे बेच रहे हो उसको बैठ के,
Right.
no point ना. So we try to only work with authors who are fully and 100% committed to actually making a change about their
Okay.
about their personal brand or whatever.
Yes. Perhaps.
Or sales focused.
Yeah.
Because we have different ways of working. We do sales focused campaigns also. We do branding campaigns also. So a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Cool. Would you like to add on?
Yeah, like I agree with the onboarding process. So like we have a similar onboarding process. So most of the leads are like rather inbound, so they read about us on some article, or like they might contact us, or they might be referrals, and things like that. So like I think the process is about 100% similar. We also like don't go and advertise so much to acquire clients, but
be like
it's definitely it's like if you have the bandwidth, if you have the capacity. For example, like Aurelius Media, we are a boutique agency. So we work with maybe like 4 to 5 clients at a time at most. So generally there are 3 to 4 clients. So we are not actively looking to acquire more clients. So it's like more or less if somebody else comes through. And like right now the team is positioned like that like we are focused on delivering the highest value that we can deliver to the existing clients which we have. So if we take on too many projects, then the value also kind of dilutes. So again it depends on like how what is the size of your agency, like how many people are working in the agency, the team size, like so
saying a lot of small marketing for quantity.
but like
Jaldi or.
There comes a time when you have to
Yes, I keep expanding my team according to that.
no, that's
But
What I realize with literary services especially is that sometimes क्या होता है कि hire कर लिया, उसके बाद client 2-3 महीना रहा, तो authors are very fickle.
हाँ, correct.
अभी आज करा, कल बोलेंगे नहीं करना.
I know.
understand it's a very long game. You
Right.
can't just market.
And imagine you have hired, and now you don't have.
No, because they want to become Kevin in 3 months.
that is the thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
The branding, strategy, and consistency.
Also time.
वो bestseller list में आना चाहिए ना next day.
Next day.
Next day bestseller list में आना.
Without telling us any names, someone who was over eager to kind of achieve and who came to you, and then it implodes. ऐसी कोई story है? या Sanjay story?
एक स्टोरी है ऐसी. एक हमारे पास एक लेडी ऑथर थी, तो ही राइट लाइक फिक्शन लाइक near 1,000 page fiction stories.
1,000 page.
1,000 page.
1,000 page.
हाँ, एक तो हमने उनको बोला आपने इतना बड़ा लिख भी आया तो इसमें कैसे आई थिंक 7-8 साल हो गए उस, ठीक है. तो उन्होंने क्या किया कि हम लोग इतना आपने ग्रंथ क्यों लिखा बेसिकली लव स्टोरीज के ऊपर, इसको थोड़े पार्ट्स कर देते तो जल्दी बिक जाता. तो कहते नहीं, मेरे गुरुजी ने बोला है कि यू हैव टू राइट दिस बुक एंड आपको ऐसे करना है. तो ही हायर्ड ऑल द स्पेसिस. उसने जितने भी अवेलेबल स्पेस थी बुक स्टोर्स के ऊपर तो सारी हायर कर ली. वी आर नॉट ओवर शॉप्स, इवन ऑल ओवर, मतलब कि जितने भी चेन स्टोर्स हैं सबके अंदर उन्होंने हायर करा. एंड ही पेड ऑल्सो. ऐसा नहीं है कि उन्होंने हायर करने के बाद पेड नहीं किया, उन्होंने ही पेड ऑल्सो. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो बुक बिकी नहीं, क्योंकि वो इतनी मोटी बुक लिख दी थी उन्होंने कि अब किसी को इतना बड़ा लव स्टोरी तो पढ़ना नहीं है, राइट. ठीक है, उनको चाहिए कि हाँ भाई 200-300 पेज की बुक होती, फटाफट रीड होता और ख़त्म हो जाता. लेकिन दे स्पेंड सो मच मनी ऑन मार्केटिंग, बट वो हुआ नहीं
Because the product
इज नॉट लाइक उसका फॉर्मेट अच्छा नहीं था. उनको गाइड भी किया लेकिन उनको नहीं, मेरे को तो ऐसे ही करना है.
Actually, everything is correlated.
I have
from the planet.
Oh, he has an example.
And then again, like a book that kind of implodes. So again, without taking names, I was working with an author.
You are not at all a nice guy. You're not giving me any reels, man. What are you doing?
No, I don't want to take names at all here. But in this case, what happened was the book was like not up to the mark.
Okay.
But like the way that we had designed the creatives, they were in terms of editorial, in terms of like the social media, Facebook ads, and like with the
वो काफी अच्छे थे, तो cover हमारा सब अच्छा.
उसको इतना hype कर दिया. and the people, so but like
And the people got the product.
So now you have seen this about
Actually, आपके प्रोडक्ट्स में भी तो होना चाहिए ना कुछ मटेरियल बिकने के लिए.
Author ended up getting comments on his Amazon ki, the book is not according to the hype. The advertising
that is there.
And this and that. So that was a learning for me.
How many 1 stars?
it had around 3.5 stars. You know,
3.5.
So, like,
That's
yeah, but
decent,
it's
yeah.
not. It's not that bad, but
Amazon it is not.
It is not.
it's not. It's not. You know, but
प्लस तो नहीं
जब आप एड चला रहे हो
AMS कर रहे हैं.
हाँ
but sometimes it was a lesson for me also कि sometimes कि मतलब हम लोग भी बहुत hype कर देते हैं
हाँ
किसी चीज को and maybe the product is not up to mark. So now we have started like identifying those kind of like books beforehand कि अच्छा ठीक है that is the publisher good, is the author good, like is the book's content good. So now like I have become more selective since then in
Okay.
terms of working
after
with
the
clients.
implode happened.
After the implode happened, because in the end the author was also a little disappointed because like the sales were not really up to the mark which they were expecting,
Right.
and which I completely understand.
Yeah.
And it is a part of the process, because sometimes not every book is gonna sell like 100,000 copies or a million copies.
Yeah.
Sometimes a book might just sell 3,000 or it might just sell 5,000, and there might be
Yeah.
no traction after that. So it's all a part of the game.
But then they'll kill you, na?
Yes.
You do the growth strategy.
No,
I personally feel that the journey to
But he show his skills ना. He already made that kind of hype. पर अंदर से ही वो जिन नहीं निकला तो वो भी कैसे?
I know. So any experience where you were kind of, I know because we talk on a very regular basis about these things, but anyway, you kind of get frustrated, because, sometimes it is impossible to kind of, get through and talk to the person and make them understand.
बड़ा परेशान लग रहे हो आप.
It happens, man. आज ही एक email आई है.
Whenever I connect with the author, so मैं उनके साथ ना एक तो interaction जरूर रखती हूँ एक बार, just to understand what he wants, ये क्या just he want book selling only or he want his branding also, and now the scenarios has changed. Sometimes just they want author branding through a book, or sometimes they just want to sell the book. So मेरे को first interaction में मेरे को लगता है I just talk to them in an elaborative way, just trying to get their details. उसके बाद से then the process start. But sometimes author being little rigid, about कि नहीं हमें ये नहीं करना है. We are camera shy also. We are corporate person, so we don't have time. So whatever you have to do, you have to do. But it's a mutual process. खाली एक agency कोई भी हो, that is Booknerds, Hubhawks, agency सब कुछ नहीं कर पाएगी. We can show the medium कि we can take you to the print media, digital media, TV, radio, bookstore, सब हो जाएगा offline. But again author's involvement will be there.
And they don't do you cannot do anything. Yeah. Author वही principle है at the end of the day. वही मेहनत stay around ही तो सब from निकलेंगे.
वही नहीं है तो फिर कहाँ?
No, if they just keep asking अब क्या result है, that won't result anything. Trust me, that will be sometimes I also get frustrated कि अरे result ही पूछे जा रहे हैं, अगर अपना input तो कुछ नहीं दे रहे हैं, अपना contribution नहीं कर रहे हैं, तो वो थोड़ा sometimes it get frustrated for me also. But I still
My team goes through that like regular basis, and then that's why I have the chill down right now.
But Kevin, I don't give up. I just
No, so
keep,
how I play around with it is that I don't show my face on till the time it reaches to a critical level.
Okay.
The moment the critical level comes in, then I come in.
Yeah.
हाँ.
And then I kind of pacify it, and then the author gets interested.
Yeah.
कि चलो यार, like this guy was not available,
Yeah.
but now he's available for me.
Yeah.
Now he wants to give that yarn or whatever it is.
Right.
तो वो थोड़ा सा ना आपको करना पड़ता है to make that author understand. And the reason why I know these kind of tricks, primarily because I'm an author.
I know.
I have all the
Right.
Yes.
why people try on me.
Let's talk about that, in fact, because I would start with Neha, because there are all of you on this podcast come from different backgrounds and bring different sensibilities to it. For example, somebody is a writer, somebody is a reader, somebody is a growth hacker, which is something very new, and you have the old school trade inside you. You know everything inside out, on ground, whatever is happening. So starting with Neha, like how does it help you in the process? Because I know that during onboarding as well, like Neha has been using TopMate for a while now, because to talk to her for the onboarding, you need to pay. And which is again very
it's a
like
kind of
an ego issue. Becomes an ego issue for many authors that we have to pay to talk to you, but it is for the time, of course. So tell us some more about that, and of course we'll get
So
into
I
that.
just talk about the TopMate first. So it's been 9 to 10 years I am into the industry, and doing livening with the authors, publishers, but sometimes, people take your time for granted. So if, we'll just talk to them, ki, yeah, this is the time I am available to talk, but they are busy. So after 8 years working into the industry, I introduced this app called TopMate, a website where a person needs to...
Branding.
Yeah, so a person needs to pay a little amount, to talk to me, discuss the strategy. That is, as of now, that is just $500. So that is the minimum charge you need to, at least pay to talk to me. If you can't, bear that consultation fee also, so I can't, work for you, because there are always, commercials involved in that. So that is the first thing. So that is the first level, of onboarding the person. If he's positive about it, he also, take care of your time also. So that is very good for me. It's like
When you used to kind of, ask for, send us an email kind of thing, so that the non-serious people get,
but sometimes
filtration.
it's like that.
flip side of it is sometimes also get pissed off with that aging, and they just back up. They say no, we don't want to work with these people who are just seizing money.
Money only.
Yeah.
That is
That as well. There is a flip side, of course.
So see, at the end of the day, I always say to the author, वो बोलते हैं यार पैसा क्यों लेते हो marketing के लिए and all. I say I say that writing is a creative endeavor. Definitely, writing is something you as creatively do as much as possible. But the moment you put an MRP on the book,
Yes.
it becomes a product.
Right.
Not just a
Yes.
So basically, everybody here to make a money.
yeah.
Without money, nobody have any.
Yes.
putting some effort in any way, they will charge, right? So sometimes I also get, the people get, offended if I say, I'll pay us, I'll get commercials, there will be commercials involved in my service. They said, we have written a book, we have got it published, so you are, to get paid for it.
तो आ क्यों रहे हो हमारे पास फिर?
Obviously. It's there. It's
Because, Kevin, we started with a community, readers community, and it has a base now. So whenever an author comes down to Dehradun for a book launch or something, so obviously we have a network. We invite people, those people, we do a newsletter marketing, we do a social media marketing for the same author. And then you are asking कि अरे मैं आ रहा हूँ इतनी दूर से travel करके तुमको भी
but everybody loves freebies, right? So I mean, who doesn't love it?
आप ये बोला करो ना इसके साथ ये free है.
There comes your perspective, because tell us more about this. When you are doing like branding for authors, do you have a team thinking about this only? Like, how does it work with
When authors come for any branding,
Yeah.
they always say, अच्छा अगर हम ये करेंगे तो इसके साथ क्या देंगे आप?
Okay.
So then we have a commercial chart. If you take this services,
Okay.
we take this free.
Okay.
Okay, like if you take like one standee, we will give you 5,000
Okay.
bookmark free of distribution charge.
Okay.
If you take shelf, we
Okay.
give you like mailers free.
Yeah.
Like that kind of
Yeah.
we have a commercial.
Okay.
Depending on the authors, like
Got
what
it.
he want to spend.
Yeah.
कितना वो खर्च करना चाह रहा है,
Yeah.
कितना उसमें इंटरेस्ट है बेसिकली अपने बुक
Yeah.
को प्रमोट करने के लिए.
Yeah.
कई बार तो ये होता है कि जैसे वी चार्ज अ मंथली बेसिस, नॉट अ डेली बेसिस.
Yeah.
If you say na 15,000 rupees a month and we will display your book on like pile up,
Yeah.
तो बहुत सारे 99% author कहते हैं हमारा बजट ही नहीं है basically. It's
Right.
only for 15,000 rupees.
Yeah.
When you go any like paper ad,
Yeah.
एक छोटी सी ad होगी जिसके ऊपर आप मतलब कि 2-3 लाख रुपए खर्च कर दोगे और
Yeah.
for a one day,
I
not
know.
even a day basically.
Yes.
एक flip में नजर आ रहा है या नहीं आ रहा.
Yeah.
लेकिन अब बुक शॉप जहाँ पे आपके राइट ऑडियंस आ रहे हैं, राइट कस्टमर्स आ रहे हैं, जिनको आप दिखाना चाह रहे हो बेसिकली,
The fit is also there.
इट इज आल्सो देयर. वहाँ पे आप अगर स्पेंड नहीं करना चाहोगे
Yeah.
तो फिर आप कमर्शियली नहीं
Yeah.
कुछ कर सकते.
Yeah.
यू हैव टू डू इट ऑन अ राइट प्लेटफॉर्म.
Yep.
अगर आप वहाँ पे अपनी प्रमोशन कर रहे हो तो आप एक अटैचमेंट कस्टमर के साथ इमीडिएटली कर रहे हो. आप
Right.
आपका ऑडियंस वहीं पर ही आ रहा है. तो एक सबसे बड़ा है कि अगर आप कुछ भी अगर ऑफलाइन ऑनलाइन करते हो तो वो प्लेटफॉर्म जो है उसको सूटेबल होना चाहिए उस
Yeah.
प्रोडक्ट के साथ, कि वहाँ पे आप करेंगे तो आपको ज़्यादा अच्छे
Yeah.
रिजल्ट्स आएंगे.
Yeah.
तो ये होता है, हम भी लोग काफ़ी टाइम फ्री देते हैं. अब इसके साथ ये लो ये फ्री, चाय के साथ बिस्किट फ्री.
Like, yes. So talking about pedigree, like when you are onboarding people, and then obviously questions come in, na? Matlab, what you don't come from this world, right? And so in the beginning, was it tough to kind of onboard people because you didn't have the pedigree of this you of course you have a digital marketing background and growth hacking, everything, but how does one kind of communicate that?
So like in terms of like onboarding and things like that, so like I got my first client and he was a very prominent author.
Okay.
So he was publishing his book in India as well as in US simultaneously, and it was a book by Penguin Random House.
Okay.
So good publisher, good author, and like significant marketing budgets. So that's how like I started this book marketing. And
You got lucky, man. Because in the beginning you don't get budgets, but that's good.
and it's an interesting story on how I got lucky as well, because a few days ago I was reading your LinkedIn post where you said that like that you were let go from a job because you because do two jobs because
you were too good, right? I read that.
I'm going to regret that video. I shouldn't have done it. Now I am famous as the guy who got fired.
For being too good.
So like I kind of have a similar story.
Okay.
Like I was basically I was working as head of marketing for a product startup.
Okay.
Like it was a funded company, venture funded company. I was doing really well.
Okay.
I was very happy with the job position. I really loved working there. But things took a things took a bad turn when my mother's health started deteriorating. And this is like we are talking about pre-COVID era. So her health started deteriorating and I was taking too much work from home.
Okay.
So then the company sort of like had to let me go.
Okay.
And this was one of the darkest period of my life where like that my mother is not well, and then like I was just let go from a really good job that I really loved. So at that time this book marketing thing happened. I got a very prominent client.
Okay.
And that was like a very significant shift in terms of like a significant career shift for me. Because from that point onwards, like, I sort of like got back up on my feet. And then like, and once that book was successful in India and abroad, then I started onboarding more clients. And then like I started working with other, I started working with other product companies and startups as well. So that's kind of like the
Brilliant,
the growth story.
Great story actually. And so Kevin, the team, it matters so much, right? We can talk here. हम लोग पे यहाँ पे पॉडकास्ट पे बातें कर रहे हैं, बट टीम इज एवरीथिंग, राइट? इफ दे डोंट परफॉर्म, दैट्स इट. लाइक नथिंग कैन हैपन. यू कैन ऑनबोर्ड टू मेनी लाइक क्लाइंट्स और व्हाटएवर, कितने भी कर लो आप, बट इफ द टीम इज नॉट वर्किंग, सो हाउ टू बिल्ड दैट कल्चर? आई एम आस्किंग यू दिस क्वेश्चन बिकॉज द एंटायर एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ Hubhawks was like very refreshing for me. It was a very modern take, a very ad agency take on everything, and that shows personality as well from the founder. So what is the culture like? थोड़ा सा हमें give us a snapshot.
Kind of a sneak peek inside Hubhawks.
हाँ, थोड़ा सा. Yeah.
See, the idea is about हम लोग बहुत बिल्कुल corporate structure से नहीं जाते. Might we have obviously कि मतलब एक काम अच्छा करो, काम diligently करो, वो करो. But the idea is to have proper freedom.
Okay.
It's like, so we followed the Netflix model. We don't do paid leaves का, मतलब हम लोग
अच्छा.
मतलब
Okay.
हम लोग unpaid leaves का नहीं करते. मतलब in terms of अगर छुट्टी नहीं आपने पैसे नहीं काटे देंगे.
Okay.
A lot of people who are coming from ad agencies or someone who पैसे काट देते हैं. They give you 4 leaves only.
That's the general format. Yeah.
तो we are like, तुम जितनी छुट्टियाँ लेना लो.
Okay.
Unlimited, we'll pay for that.
Okay.
So people take one week का holiday for their shadi or whatever it is, or party, whatever.
Yeah.
We don't stop you.
Okay.
The idea, but what we realized over a period of time was people stopped taking छुट्टियाँ only.
Oh.
Because the thing was, the moment they got freedom, they immediately realized that we have to value it now.
No, actually,
It's the reverse psychology. Yeah. Okay.
The idea is to empower them rather than just curbing them. No, empower them. Let them make the decisions. You are just there to help you. Help them.
Okay.
You are not the boss. They are the boss.
Right.
You are helping them, to be honest. At the end of the day.
Right.
Because on how I'm helping through a little bit of experience that I have. I have 6 years of proper experience. वैसे तो मैं 14 साल से लिख रहा हूँ.
हाँ. Yes.
But yeah, लेकिन मैं तब से experience चल ही रहा है. But proper experience 6 साल का था तो that's about it.
Even the agency people also ना, even we all are keep also learning time to time. ऐसा नहीं कि सारे experiments एक ही book पे चल जाएंगे. So experiments कई बार हमारे भी fail होते हैं if we are going to market it.
Through the team a little bit because I mean you have been kind of coordinating the team primarily, and where does it kind of pinch you, the team, and where does it like liberating. Tell us a little bit about the inside.
For coming to the Booknerds team, we have very simple thing, two criteria majorly. One has to be a reader, it has to be other. Whether it's a technical person in my team,
Or ready to be a reader. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
but still I prefer to be a reader also. But how come I invest, so much time?
Yeah. But we have seen, you're right. You're actually right. There are some people who come in and become readers.
Yes,
Actually,
I am one of the example, to be very honest, because before we started Book Nerds, I was just like, okay, like regular readers like Sudha Murthy, Ruskin Bond. But when I entered to the Book Nerds and started this, journey, then I realized there are so many Indian authors also, because we have always been, preached with the Western people only. But there is a lot of content coming from the Indian authors also.
and in fact, that is the most common question even now. If you talk to like the layman, say, they are like, oh, Bahar ke authors, this and that. They are like that.
And sometimes people don't like it,
Have the responsibility to introduce them to great literature.
Sometimes people don't like it. Acha, do you read Indian authors? So they're like, degrade karke na. They ask us like, thoda sa degrade. Why? But why is that? Because why the genre?
Aggressing because we are talking about the team.
We are talking about the team culture. Yes.
Bringing you on track.
Right. So I always go off track. So yes. So team is very important for me, because
How big is the team though right now? Okay.
right now we have 15 to 20 people
Wonderful,
in the team. So that includes everyone, like social media manager, the Twitter person, and the website manager is there, and the person who is just do author liaising and just find out the new authors, new books, and talk to the publishers. So there is a graphic designer is there, and one person is just concentrating on the reels only. Video editors are there, multiple video editors. So it's a mixed bag of everything, like any other company, because although it's a book-based company, but it has all the aspects, technical aspects and the offline, because when we do the offline event, so it is like any other shadi, You have to, you have to send
Everything.
You have to send the invitations. No, I'll tell you.
But I do say the relationship between a agency or a publisher and a publisher, I'm including the marketing aspect as well. Between a publisher and an author is like marriage. You have to trust each other.
Oh yes.
You have to.
Oh yes. Without trust, you can't do it.
Yeah, you have to trust each other. You have to be very, very, hopeful about each other. If you guys are somewhere misstepping or something, and be patient. Yeah.
What about you, Ayush? Are you a solopreneur? What's happening? We have it.
Basically, बोला जरा शादीशुदा हो या
Because from marriage.
All three are in the table. Right? They are married once.
Like we have a small team. So we have a team of video editors, graphic designer, and then we have a UX designer in book as well, and then
UX for the website and
UX for the website, and we do web apps development and like UI development also for some clients. Okay. So and then I'm a marketer. I'm a Google and Facebook certified marketer with multiple years of experience.
Okay.
So sometimes and I have one person who also helps manages the campaign, since I can't always be first hand looking at the client accounts all the time. Okay. Though I do.
But how much of your company is book business and other, because since you're doing apps as well, that's another come. Yeah.
So basically book business for our companies are around 20 to 30%. So 80%
80% is mostly corporate.
business comes from basically startups. We are working with startup. They're working.
makes sense, I think so, because to kind of survive in this entire scenario, because of the growth having
And that is why we can afford to be selective, in terms of the lifestyle as well. Like we're not actually done, seeking out, authors and things like that. So only when I see that some interesting book is coming, where I feel that, okay, that this book has really a good potential, is near good bestseller, and I think we would be able to deliver.
Yeah.
So that's when I accept, and sometimes if I feel okay, that, that the book is not going to click, even though the author is willing to pay us, sometimes I have to make them aware of the risk associated, that listen, that we can try our level best from our side, but there are no guarantees of it.
But you can't guarantee 100% every time. Even not even a single time you can't give them a guarantee. Yeah, nobody can do it. It's all like a good promotion, good book, and good luck. Right.
Sometimes even good books don't work,
Yeah,
you know. So
yeah.
again, like
Because luck is not there, na? The
Huh?
timing is not correct.
timing is not
Timing is
correct.
not correct.
So right now there is a guy who's going very viral on Instagram. Again, I can't take his name, but I will tell you about this guy a little later. So this guy is going very viral on Instagram, and like, you know, and a little bit of controversy as well. But industry was just and he wrote a very great, and he wrote an amazing book few years ago.
Okay.
And again, this gentleman, he's a young guy. Like he wrote an amazing book with Bloomsbury few years ago. And totally. And unfortunately, he did not live, like, you know, up to his expectations or mine, you know, because him and I worked together. But again, it was a short engagement because I think we didn't have significant budgets, etc. So, you know, constrained by marketing budgets and things like that. So maybe the book didn't get as much recognition as, like, you know, as it should have gotten. But I'm so happy to see, like, you know, him reaching where he is right now at the moment. So I feel like, okay, that's a circle, you know. Sometimes when things are not meant to happen, they don't.
Exactly.
And right now, like, if he drops anything, I think it's going to be a viral.
कैमरा बंद करेंगे तो बता सकते
We are just curious to listen.
I was really curious. Ritu understood though.
This is a section where I ask you guys about your favorite books and authors.
Yeah.
Plus, the second round, of course, the favorite book marketing and author branding strategy that you have noticed or gotten inspired from.
Yeah.
You know, so we'll start the same way. We'll start with Kevin and kind of go around the table and.
So there are two questions, right?
हाँ दो है.
पहली कौन सी किताब? So so in terms of marketing, you were saying which kind of book you're saying, like, or as a writing?
As in general, the first question is regarding that.
Okay, so I love, I was just seeing his book only right now here, Kigo Higashino,
Okay.
which is, I love his Japanese author. He takes inspiration from Agatha Christie.
Okay.
And I read Agatha Christie, but I find it a little on the dated side.
Okay.
But Kigo Higashino just brings in a very modern aspect to it, and I just really love it. So in terms of that's the book, and also you wanted to know which author or that's the second.
Yeah, I mean we can do the second round. We can first go.
Okay, let's go with the favorite book.
See, for us, is which book is selling well. That is our favorite.
And this podcast is also about that.
Yeah.
But still, you know, kind of a personal preference for us.
See, right now is a self-help is selling very well.
Okay.
Okay, and motivational books are selling.
Yes,
very
I
well. That's all authors are our favorite.
But why do you think so? I mean, why is it immediately everyone wanted motivation?
Actually,
I'm very curious. Yeah.
See, India is a growing market. Okay, aspirations. Okay, aspiration. India is a growing market. Everybody want to achieve like win a very few times. मेरे कि आज ही billionaire बनना है और आज ही करोड़पति बनना है.
That's why these courses are also being sold, ना? कि यार billionaire course
book actually.
उसने क्या है कि उसको अपनी ग्रोथ से वो रिलेट करना है तो उसको मटेरियल चाहिए कैसे उसको इम्प्लीमेंट करना अपने आप को पोजीशनिंग कैसे करना.
It's never about the book actually.
Book is just one of the products. Yeah, of course.
बुक इज अ मीडिया. आप कह सकते हो कि हाँ भाई उसका साथ में उसको एक एडवांटेज है कि उन लोगों ने क्या किया या उनके थॉट प्रोसेस क्या थे या उन्होंने कैसे अपनी जर्नी को किया. तो दैट्स व्हाई
they're treating it like what do you call a very important branding aspect because not everybody can write a book.
Why not?
It's and it has got a certain sort of.
There's a lot of ghostwriting going on, no? There.
Ghostwriting.
Yeah. Lot of authors are doing. Lot of
All day I'm on LinkedIn. Half the people. Sunil Shetty is on LinkedIn. I mean, he's writing 2,000 word posts. He's not writing it.
Of
right?
course, yeah.
It's being recorded. Anyways. So what's happening is that it's a very intellectual take on branding, and that's why they have become important, right? Are your favorites?
So yeah, like talking about favorites. So I would say, you know, in India, like, you know, it has to be Mr. Karan Bajaj.
Okay.
So
This is not fair.
I mean, okay. Okay, so you know, I don't want to be biased. You know, I don't mean to be biased, but like, you know, having seen him, what he does, and having seen that how focused he is, because his approach like is something which I've really liked and appreciated. For example, if a single channel is working, then scale up that channel. You know, so don't go and spread yourself too thin. Like, you know, you're going on like Amazon, you're going on here, you're going on Instagram, you're going on Facebook, you're going on Twitter, you know. So maybe if Instagram or Facebook is working, so whatever channel is working, again, so like he likes to scale up those channels, and again he's written about this extensively in his book The Freedom Manifesto also, which recently released. He about like how he took like White Hat Junior and scaled it to like $300 million
It
evaluation.
dropped because once, I criticized White Hat Junior and my cousin used to work there. Okay. And she has never spoken to me since. Yeah. They are doing a great job.
Great
If
job.
The team, if your team doesn't want to listen to a single bad thing about you,
Yeah,
it's a great team, right?
definitely. So like I admire him for his business principles and for his relentless focus. कि मतलब उनका focus जो है, I have never seen anybody focus like that. And in terms of international overseas authors, I would say Rich Roll.
Okay.
So like he's an athlete and he's written like multiple books as well. So like his branding and the way he has developed his website, the way he has developed his podcast and his YouTube channel, and his personal brand is so strong that like anything he drops, like whether it's like a podcast or it's a YouTube video or a book or a cookbook or anything, so that's a very strong personal branding right there. So anything will that, because he has that ecosystem and probably he's earning.
Who are becoming influencers and also releasing their books. So mostly about the influencing aspect of it rather than a book is just a product of your.
Yes.
Very easy part because you already have a following, right? And then you're coming out with a book, then it's the advantage also sometimes. Like if the debut author is coming out without any followers.
That's the tough part.
But that's why, like he said, that you need to get to it beforehand. You need to, while writing the book, you need to get it.
Yeah.
You have to engage.
You have to engage.
So it's a double-edged sword sometimes. What happens is sometimes obviously you have to build it up and then sometimes the product itself makes you a brand.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Right.
Right.
Like who knew Amish till the time Immortals of Melua came. That became, and then uske baad now it's a brand.
They did very good marketing also though. Like they released like very good trailers or वो सब तो उस time पे that was very cutting edge, kind of like what they
In the
what they
first
did.
book, the trailer was not there.
There was no Facebook.
For somebody, becoming a bestseller,
That's like,
that's really actually have it.
बहुत ज़्यादा challenge आ गया because बहुत cluttered market हो गया ना बहुत. अब तो जितने influencers already followers हैं, वही जीतेंगे.
Paid ads are also sometimes, faking the things. कई बार हमें ऐसा लगता है कि
अभी 99% is a paid ad only. जो आपको दिख रहा है वो यार
algorithm उस तरह से work कर रहा है.
I'll write a thesis on this.
Sometimes we are not sure कि अगर हम paid ad कर रहे हैं तो वो readers तक पहुंच रहा है या नहीं. That is not the pure audience. हाँ.
But it shows in the sales, so it will show.
हाँ.
What is your favorite?
See at the end जो बुक अच्छी है पेड ऐड करने के बाद बिकनी उसी को ही है. ठीक है. अगर आपका कंटेंट अच्छा है, अगर आप उसके ऊपर प्रमोशंस कर रहे हैं, then they will sell.
But sometimes out of curiosity also people buy ना. अगर किसी का इतना publicity हो रहा है तो लगता है कि एक बार लेके तो देख लो है
A
क्या.
lot of books also fail because of the price points. Sometimes price points too damn high.
True.
But I think the mouth publicity is the best tool जो आपकी बुक को एक सक्सेस बनाती है.
Which publicity?
माउथ पब्लिसिटी. ठीक है.
Word of mouth.
वर्ड ऑफ माउथ. ठीक है. क्या उससे क्या है कि अगर आपको एक बुक अच्छी लग रही है आप 10 लोगों को रिकमेंड कर रहे हो कि हाँ भाई ये मेरे को बुक अच्छी लगी है.
Right.
That is 100% as a 5-star review. जैसे
Word of mouth.
जब तक वो वर्ड ऑफ माउथ की पब्लिसिटी नहीं आती है ना
तो उसी को सर्विस बता दो. बोलेंगे we have access to 10,000 views. So we'll be talking about your book.
Community comes in. That's where the community comes in. Then
That's why they have made a comeback of sorts, because they are great. Like right now, they are the thing. Because वहाँ पे कोई algorithm का friction नहीं है. Because if they like you,
follow it, yeah.
then only they'll
they are
sign
going
up.
to buy.
Otherwise, nobody is giving you your email ID.
Oh yes.
क्योंकि privacy issue होता है वो. So that is something. It's a very intimate experience, and it is working for a lot of authors. I mean, James Clear, I can see the book right there.
Yeah.
Oh my God, his newsletters.
Yes.
You guys have to read it. Like 3-2-1, incredible. It's incredible. It's so detailed. Anyways, we are digressing again. Your favorite?
My favorite book is like Colin Hoover, not because of her writing skills only, because of her marketing things also. I mean, she came in 2011, right, into the picture, and then later on, after 2015, I think she got viral with one of the her book, and now look at her sales, her branding. She is like everywhere, whether you look at the Western marketing.
Book talk product. It totally is.
And I used to follow her when she was not even selling that. Funny.
She has written many titles. But till the time she got viral, that was just, it ends with
Everybody is talking about that only on Instagram.
Even you go to the
That's why everybody keeping their books ना आपने सोचा जो बिक रहा है ना तो वही डिस्प्ले में आता है तो अगर उन्होंने मार्केटिंग वेस्टर्न में करी पर इंडिया में इज नो मार्केटिंग
Yes, it is.
नो मार्केटिंग इज जस्ट के वो बिक रहा है इसलिए वो ऑटोमेटिकली
You have read it. You have read it. Is it worth the hype? Is it?
It is.
It is? Oh wow. So that means it's a good book then.
It is.
Because
Everybody has a perspective, but yes, I love that book. I love the writing. It was very easy to read. I don't need to open the dictionary as such, ki again and again. The language was simple.
So the funny part was Colin Hoover was really popular with the first book, jo I think. Can't remember the name. But that did, it was a self-published book. Okay. Because I was following her since पहले से ही. It was a self-published book and it sold 1 million copies there.
Wow.
But वो यहाँ पर इतना नहीं आया, इंडिया में इतना नहीं आया. इंडिया में तो मतलब फिर
It ends with us.
I got to know the sales figures. So because I work with the publisher also. 3 lakh copies in India itself it's sold. 3.5 lakh copies it's sold in India.
But second wali jo hai na, it starts with us.
So that's what I got the figures.
Okay, let's come to the branding side of it.
Yeah.
What is the brand that you are loving a lot? I mean, it could be international, national, anything. When you get like inspired कि यार ऐसी brand create करनी है मतलब author brand or maybe a strategy, something like that.
I think 2 people definitely, and 2 people who I really know pretty well as well. One is obviously Sakshan.
Okay.
I think he's doing really good job in terms of like pushing himself out there. I still remember because he has the hunger in his eyes in terms of getting it. So वो खड़ के जा रहा है वो, which is how
I know.
That's how
World Book Fair, in fact.
Yeah, the same thing. World Book Fair से एक और आया. Yeah. 10 days. Yeah. And उससे साइड में खड़ा थोड़े से आगे खड़ा हुआ था अक्षत गुप्ता.
Yes.
That's the second one I would say.
It's a great story.
Yeah. Akshat also in terms of like with him, the fact is that he utilized the power of reels.
Yeah.
The power of reels, and he made it clear ki reels, how can reels convert to sales? He created a huge clout of his followers who are like, who love the topic on myths, on legends, on history, And basically, if you read his
got a beer biceps also.
Huh?
Beer biceps.
Yeah, he went to buy beer biceps as well. Yeah.
So that's a huge push, right? Because
that time he didn't get the push. That's the funny part.
Okay.
So the moment his sales skyrocketed was because I love to follow everyone.
That's great. That's great.
So there was this podcast he did, real shit talk something.
The Delhi wala, I think so.
हाँ वो किया था and उसमें पता नहीं उसका एक ने I think what to 8-9 million followers or something.
Wow.
It's madness.
And that podcast doesn't fit into the author and book industry at all. They talk about anything. They are great, but कुछ भी बात करते हो लोग. So so these things out of the box thinking can work actually.
Yeah, but see, what I say about marketing in terms of is that you have to get one strike. एक आपको hit चाहिए, फिर but उसके लिए आपको 10 चीजें मारनी पड़ती है. You can't just be like कि एक चीज हो गया तो ये हो गया.
तो इस केस में real hit.
वो जो था ना podcast एकदम से skyrocket. Obviously, a lot of things work collectively together and became in itself. So yeah.
And they are just a bunch of guys just talking about anything, and then even then it works. So sometimes you're right. You have to do multiple things.
See, you have to do multiple things. That's right. But सब एक ना टाइम बहुत मैटर करता है कि आप इस टाइम पे कौन सी चीज बोल रहे हो, कौन सी वर्क कर रही है, कौन सी नहीं कर रही है. तो lot of authors do similar kind of things. एक तो बहुत अच्छा चल जाता है, एक
I know.
तो ये बहुत सारी चीजें मैटर करती हैं. कहाँ आप
Totally.
कैसे आप उसको आगे लेके जा रहे हो.
ओम बुक्स का भी हो सकता है, मतलब कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.
अरे सारे फेवरेट हैं.
नहीं तो आपका एक मतलब अगर आपको देखिए सेफ रहना है तो ओम बुक्स के बाहर का.
अच्छा.
और अगर अंदर का आप बताओगे तो फिर आप
मेरे ये सारे ही फेवरेट.
तो आप बाहर का बताओ.
मैं किसी एक को फेवरेट नहीं कर सकता ना.
तो फिर इंटरनेशनल बता दो आप फिर.
नहीं, माय फेवरेट इज ऑल इंडियन. All Indian.
Very safe answer. No points for that at all. But
कह रहे हैं ना कि इंडिया का प्रमोट करना है. ऑल इंडियन ऑथर्स आर माय फेवरेट ऑथर.
Atmanirbhar, everybody is good.
Yeah.
Not a good answer at all. First point check. Anyways, अब करण बजाज नहीं बोलना है. हो गया enough. We have plugged in. Karan is very happy now. You have to tell someone.
Before he say anything, Karan Bajaj is a very loyal client of yours because I was after him.
Oh, but this.
Wow.
Growth hacker will win any day.
Sales focus. No,
But we never, got him on board. I was not aware that it was with you.
Great.
Great, good to know. So it's an honor. I'm also so yeah, in terms of branding, like there are like a lot of authors which are doing very good work. So again,
whom do you like really?
I look up to James Clear, like as you had mentioned, his newsletter, the 3-2-1 newsletter. So that's something that I look forward to. I love reading international authors, so I'm going to take some international names now. Like I'm a huge fan of James Clear. I'm a huge fan of Cal Newport. Like I've read all of his books, like Deep Work and Digital Minimalism, Deep Work, Digital Minimalism, and all of that. And he has a blog also.
Right.
And then again, like there's Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Dash. So like, so so everyone knows him, and how he really started was through his blog. So they all have like one thread in common, that that aside from writing the book, they have like newsletters, and then they have blogs which they are leveraging really well, and in which I think that the Indian authors should take inspiration from. For example, like your content, you should not always be promoting your book all the time. So you could
अब मेटा बैन हो गया फिर क्या होगा?
huh?
This
हाँ.
ownership is yours. Right?
Right. Absolutely. So sometimes like advertising platforms, जैसे like Google banned affiliate marketing way back ago. Like so in terms of that, so again you have to diversify your channels. So like you just can't rely on algorithms, because you can't put your eggs in one basket. For example, like I'm seeing a lot of clients like come in these days कि हमारी Instagram reels की virality कम हो गई है, and things like that. So that's always that I've seen that happen. So again,
that is the algorithm doing.
that is the algorithm doing his thing. So these kind of things you need to be aware of. Ki listen, that you are kind of algorithm and platform dependent, which could change at any time. For example, right now, like we have GPT-4 come in. Yes. So because of that, like a lot of industries are getting disrupted. Like for example, I have stopped using Google search altogether. I use this browser called Perplexity. Perplexity is a much better alternative. Again, I don't mean to go off track, but what I'm saying is that
You're not off track actually, because it matters. हम किसी न किसी form में सभी लोग इस table पे
हाँ
content
बना रहे हैं.
And then of course, for example, if I have to research for this shoot as well, I can actually maybe creating the flow of this podcast, I can take the help of GPT-4 and other platforms.
Absolutely. And like a lot of people I have seen mistaken also ki okay, that when they talk about like AI, they just say ki okay, it's chat GPT. And again, AI is not just chat GPT. GPT-4 is so much more. For example, like you can use GPT-4 for data analysis. You can use GPT-4 for video editing. There are tools like Adobe Firefly, which like video editing team can use. And basically I was having a conversation with my video editor the other day, and she said to me ki like Adobe Firefly can right now do everything that I do. So
And the funny part is, all those book covers that we are doing,
right,
for our publishing also, and are done by AI.
Exactly. Mid-journey. And
prompt has to be real.
Yeah, obviously prompt has to be, no, but then we also have to manipulate the edited.
Of course.
It is there. वो जब जाएगा,
It can create a better product, right?
better product plus very very fast also. Book covers जो आपको एक महीने लगेगा बनाने में, वो एक हफ्ते में बन जाएगा.
Correct.
So वो that is
And plagiarism,
product.
plagiarism free too.
Right now, there are no laws around it right now. Because I went to Midjourney and I was like, it's just exploring and kind of creating random stuff. But it is like, it gives you some sort of freedom which you haven't experienced, to create. And it's incredible. Still new.
Absolutely.
It's okay. Your favorite author brand
Not as such author.
besides Ruskin Bond?
No, not author brand as such, because I keep taking good things from different places. So sometimes if person is very good doing LinkedIn marketing, so we can jump into that, delve into that, can learn from that by doing some workshops also. If person is very good because all the platforms are not going viral for all the authors. It's sometimes author is very viral on Twitter, but he is nowhere on any other social media platform. So I won't take any name as such because I'll take inspiration.
Zero mark.
Looking at you.
नाम तो देना पड़ेगा. ये क्या बात है?
I don't have any name. Trust me, because I keep looking at the people who are doing good and take positives and good things from that.
It's a very
So
India.
So I saw once, मतलब आप marketing की बात करें तो I saw one post जिस पे लिखा था if you don't like Chetan Bhagat you will like this book.
Oh,
इधर negative marketing.
Then we have one book, Don't Sell, Make Them Buy.
okay.
Their books sell very well. And it's it's sell very well. But and we are selling, I think, more than 20,000 copies within 4 months.
Wow. It's a formula, right?
Yeah.
That's a home book.
Yeah.
Whoa.
But they know as such one formula that is, we are going to apply it on all the books and they are going to be bestseller.
Every book have a
Obviously,
different formula.
No.
Every book have a different formula. Every book
different strategy, different, platforms.
different kind of audience.
Right.
It all depends, like the timing, the strategy, the placement. सब जब एक ऑलस्टार होके अच्छा हो जाता है ना तो बुक अच्छी हो जाती है.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for talking to me, and it was interesting getting into. And you were all very candid, barring a couple of zero mark.
That's you and me.
But I'm not going to pinpoint that. But thank you so much for talking and showing up, because all these things that the marketing side and of course the branding side needs to come to the fore, and so that people are aware about it. There's some authors who are not aware about this. They need to know about that. And the camaraderie between publishers, bookshops, marketers, and personal brand makers and growth hackers like you yourself needs to be there to kind of take everything forward so that the industry works in a very wholesome manner. So thank you so much, and until next time, of course, happy reading, happy writing, and happy marketing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, and for all of you who are watching, you guys can go online and check them all out. Online, they are mostly available. Some people are very busy. Don't disturb them all. But I think most of us and everybody is accessible on Instagram and LinkedIn, everywhere. So reach out, ask your questions, and if you don't find them, you can always DM us on our Instagram, Facebook, everywhere on social channels. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Thank you.